Hey horror fans, once again it's the Horror Miser Money G, continuing my Christmas horror movie series. Now we're going to talk about Black Christmas. Now, Black Christmas is a 2006 American-Canadian horror slasher film. It is a remake of the 1974 film of the same name. This film was written and directed by Glenn Morgan, and it stars a nice cast. Katie Cassidy, Michelle Thatchenberger, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and let's see, Lacey Colbert, and we have a nice cast here. Like I said, this is a remake of the 1974 psychological horror film of the same name. Basically, the premise is similar to the 74 classic. A bunch of sorority girls are in for the night on Christmas Eve, I believe, and they get this menacing phone call saying that there's a killer in the house. And they're right, because they're starting to get picked off one by one, and they had to find out who it is, and that's basically the premise of this movie is about. Now, before I continue about this film, I'm going to pretty sure most people know how I feel about remakes. They're going to get remade, no matter what we may say or not say. What we say or not like about remakes, movies are going to get remade. That's the way things are now in Hollywood. I mean, movies are going to get remade. I mean, already there's going to be a new Predators film that's coming out next year. There's a remake of Pet Sematary is going to get remade. They remade it this year, even though that's really not a remake. The movie came out on television first, but it is a remake. Movies they're going to get remade, whether we like it or not. My thing is, when it comes to remakes, is that as long as it tells its own story, pays a little homage to the original, and it's a pretty decent film. Now, of course, when it comes to horror, we've seen a lot of remakes that are done well. The Evil Dead remake, very good remake. The Hills Have Eyes, very good remake. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, very good remake. And of course, we've seen some poor remakes. Carrie, very poor remake. Let's see, the Cabin Fever got remade, and I thought that was terrible. It's a hit or miss when it comes to remakes for me, but movies are going to be remade, and so that's basically what I feel about remakes. So let's go on, let's talk about the remake of Black Christmas. Now, of course, basically the story is about a boy named Billy who was born with severe jaundice. Their skins are all yellow due to some type of problem with their liver. That their skin becomes yellow. Unfortunately, he is constantly abused by his hateful and distrustful mother to the point where she murders his father. Unfortunately, with her and a boyfriend. Now, unfortunately, the boyfriend turns out to be impotent, so of course she rapes her, I think, 12-year-old son. She winds up getting pregnant. Eventually, Billy has had enough of his resentments. When he gets old enough, he kills her and her boyfriend. And by the time the police come and arrest him and the child, which was become known as Agnes, he's actually eating his mother's flesh that he cut out on a cookie cutter. This happened toward Christmas. 15 years later, he escapes, and we find out that their former house is now a sorority house where the whole girls are spending the night, and that's where a lot of shit happens at this time of the film. Now, of course, a lot of people did not like this picture, but I did like it. I actually thought it was a pretty good slasher horror film. It's like I said, when it comes to remakes, it holds its own, and that's what this movie does. There are a lot of nice on-screen kills that we see on this here. We see good practical effects. And like I said, I thought the cast did a very good job in portraying the females. I mean, they are what they are. All the people in the cast, from Katie Cassidy, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Michelle Trachtenberger, and they're all been in certain horror genres. Or I think Kate Cassidy, she's perhaps well known in the Hourverse, first playing Black Canary, now she's Black Siren. Michelle Trachtenberger, we all know her from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, we know her from, she was actually in 10 Cloverfield Lane, and of course the Final Destination films. They all do a pretty good job, so it's not acting as I'm concerned. I mean, they're adequate in what their roles require them to do. But like I said, I thought the film was very good, very well, nice slasher picture, very good special effects, very good on-screen kills. So I really enjoyed the movie. Now, of course, I actually also did like the little twist that they have in the movie as well, because we assume that it's one character, but it actually turns out it's another. So I like the misdirection that they tried to play in this movie. So that's one thing I do give Glenn Morgan and his and the screenwriters do a very good job in trying to create some tension in the film and to throw the audience off. So I kind of like that little misdirection that they did. Like I said, overall, I thought it was a pretty good film overall. Once again, just like with any other Christmas film, just like with Silent Night, Deadly Night, this film met with some criticism because Dimension Films and MGM Film decided to release this on Christmas Day, and it got some flack from some of the people. But they actually stood by the grounds, and I actually commend them for it. They say, look, we see a lot of people, have a lot of Yuletide fun during Christmas, and we thought, hey, look, let's give them something. Let's give the audience something different than the typical Yuletide joy that we see during Christmas, and let's open this up as a horror picture. Now, of course, the film didn't make a lot of money, but it did. Like I said, it only cost like $9 million to make, and I think they made $21 million worldwide. So it did get a nice profit. So I give the filmmakers credit for sticking by their guns and opening the film on Christmas Day. As far as faults of the film, there are some low parts in the film. Like there's a guy that comes in the middle of the film. I thought he brought nothing to into the film other than create some drama with some of the female characters, and he gets pushed away to the side real quickly. I think they could have, if they really wanted to bring him in, at least bringing him to make some sense. But other than just to be father for the killer in the film, that's just not really good to do a good movie. Is to have him knowing that he's not going to last very long. But that's really the only fault I have in the film. Like I said, I enjoyed the film very much. It has some nice, decent kills, and really not so many jump scares. I don't remember any jump scares in this picture. I'm pretty sure they were, but I just don't remember them. So on my scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give Black Christmas 7.5. So, my horror fans, have you seen Black Christmas? What did you think about it? Do you think it was an effective slasher horror film and a great remake? Or do you prefer the original? Or do you think this was a waste of time? They shouldn't even remake this film. Leave your comments in the comment section below and tell me what you thought about Black Christmas. Alright, that's my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and as always, all my social media links will be down in the description below as well. I'm going to see if I can get to, there's going to be a new Christmas horror picture I'm trying to get to see. Hopefully, if not tonight, maybe tomorrow or next weekend, it'll be a Christmas horror story. I believe if I can get that up, I'll try it either this weekend or next week, and that'll be the next movie on my Christmas horror movie list. And like I said, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you can become part of the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules.